Good morning, judges and friends and teachers. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Liliane Gunawan from St. Mary Junior High School.
Wait a minute.
Good morning, judges, friends, and teachers. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Liliane Gunawan from St. Mary Junior High School. I would like to thank the Britain English competition team for giving me this opportunity. The presentation topic that I choose today is millennial occupation and why people dream to be them. As the generation evolves, dream occupation also starts to change following the growth of the generation itself. Millennial occupation has nowadays become the dream occupation of many youngsters. One famous millennial youngster is Atta Halilintar. Well, I believe most of the Indonesian people is already familiar with him. Atta Halilintar is the eldest of 11 of the famous Halilintar family. He gains his popularity, fortune, and wealth from being a vlogger in YouTube. His videos are viewed by millions of people around the world. So, what does millennial really mean? The word millennial itself refers to people who were born between the 1980s and 2000s. It is called millennial occupation because a lot of people who were born during that time tend to be doing the so-called millennial occupation. Millennial occupations are, among others, fashion designers, gamer, food and beauty blogger, artists, chef, architect, and so on. As time flows, many people tend to like the millennial occupation even more because, first, it is more fun and enjoyable. For example, not having to sit down in front of a laptop from 9 to 5. Here I am referring to office workers stereotype. What are your thoughts when people mention office workers? Well, for me, when people mention office workers, I see them as people who do their job by just sitting on their desk facing a computer. It is not a bad thing though. Of course, it all depends on how we see it. Second, way more flexible than other occupations. In terms that they can arrange their own schedule. They don't have to adapt their schedule according to their occupation. Instead, they can work whenever they feel like it and they can work anywhere they want. For example, as freelance artists. Freelance artists have the control or ability to decide when they should start sketching, coloring, finding inspirations, aka doing their job. This flexibility gives them less anxiety or stress in their work. Although they have more flexible schedules, it is how they manage their time that's important. You can't just sit around all day doing nothing just because you have a flexible schedule. This statement doesn't only go for freelance artists. This goes the same for all occupation, whether they have a flexible schedule or not. And lastly, it is something they are passionate about. For example, you really like writing and reading stories. Instead of just having them as a hobby, you can use that as your occupation. For starters, there are many platforms that provide small writers around the internet, such as Wattpad, Twitter, and etc. In my opinion, we should go for the things that we all love and enjoy, and we're passionate about, of course. Because no matter what occupation you're going for, as long as you're doing it wholeheartedly, that's what matters the most. Thank you for listening, and please ask any questions if you have.
Okay, right. Is it hard to carry that piece of paper?
No.
No? Really?
Kinda.
Kinda. So if you do want to bring something, again, millennials. Now, my question. This is I'm not I want you to make this clearer. You said earlier millennials' job or millennials' occupation include fashion designer and artist.
Yes.
So can people from previous generation or boomer generation they also have fashion designer and artists, right?
Yes, but I think fashion designers, artists, and stuff are more normalized now, and in the millennial generation, it's way more normalized. Yeah.
Not millennial parents, they more accepting
Yes.
their
They are not that traditional of a thinker.
conservative.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing about this, and it's actually really close to my daily life. Most of my friends are freelance artists, actually, and yeah, it's true they have many flexible schedules, but sometimes they said that can be stressful as well
Yes,
because
of
of
course.
something like art block and etc. Yeah, and my question for you is still talking about generations. You're talking about millennials, right?
Yes.
And in Indonesia, we know that many parents wanted their children to be something like civil servants.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you think it happened to generation back then, like boomers, etc.? Why is
Kids
it different?
back then in the boomer generations are too scared to face their and to open up to their parents about what they really wanted to be. So I think that's one of the main reasons why millennials are millennials have more occupations that's not includes that isn't includes in the civilized that thing.
Right. So the choices for the youngsters nowadays is wider. Yeah?
Yes, like
They got more choices nowadays.
yes.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you.
You